Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Thank you. Put your hands together to the one, the only Eddie Howe.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So with last night we just got back from this event which promotes the launch of Pete Greaves' new book, We're Here to Complete. So there it is there. But in today's video we're just going to discuss what we thought of the event overall, and we're also going to give away a free book as well. So we'll tell you about that later on in the video. But anyway guys, let's get into it. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below, leave a like as well. All your support's appreciated. So yeah, let's get into it. So like I said, me and my dad went to a event and it was in Newcastle. It was to promote the launch of Pete Greaves' new book, with Eddie Howe and Kevin Keegan being two special guests. Now, first of all, I really enjoyed the event. You know, it was really good. I never got bored because, you know, it was quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just a fantastic night, wasn't it? To see two Newcastle legends there, Kevin Keegan and Eddie Howe. Got to hand it to Pete Greaves for pulling these two together, because they've never actually met before, which was really unusual. It was the first time Eddie Howe had spoken to Keegan on the phone when he took over at Newcastle, just to ask for some advice. And Keegan just said to him, be honest with the fans, as honest as you can. I know you can't tell the fans everything, but just be open and honest with them, and this move will change your life, and it certainly has.
But you could see that Kevin Keegan was actually getting very emotional, because all the Newcastle fans were clapping and singing his name. And when Eddie Howe came on, they were doing that. So, you know, the event was just, you know, a fantastic experience overall. Now, it was meant to start at 7:30, I think it was, but it didn't end up starting until 8 o'clock because Kevin Keegan, because there was a group of people who could pay to actually go and talk to Kevin Keegan, and Kevin Keegan must have been talking to them for a while.
Yeah, he
because
does.
it didn't start. It didn't end up starting until 8, did it?
It didn't, but I mean, I thought Pete Greaves made a really good point, because he had his kids and his wife there with him, which was lovely to see. And he said, you know, he was thinking back to wanting his kid to experience the feelings he had when Keegan was manager. And I thought that the same with Charlie, so we're thinking the same thing, and now we feel we've got that now with the club being took over, and you know, we've got a really owners who care for the club, and also a manager now who's doing a phenomenal job. And like Keegan says, Howe understands the club like he did. He understands the club, and they also talked about the importance of homegrown players, the likes of, you know, local lads like Longstaff and Dan Byrne, and Keegan was emphasising to how important that is, and I think he gets it as well. So it was just such a lovely night, wasn't it? It was,
and it
great
seemed
night.
like as well that Eddie Howe and Keegan really got along with each other. You know, when Eddie Howe came on, we'll show you a clip now.
Thank you. Yes, you can film this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this, but it was something I'd wanted to try and organise if I could, was to introduce my hero, growing up watching this man in the dugout, to a man who is quickly becoming the heroes of so many of us here, in the younger generation particularly. In my lifetime, there was always two managers who I held at the highest regard. It was this gentleman here, Kevin Keegan, and the late great Sir Bobby Robson. And I can honestly say without any hesitation at all that the man about to join us on this stage now belongs in the same category as those two great men. Newcastle, this is your opportunity to give a big personal thank you. Put your hands together to the one, the only Eddie Howe!
Howe came onto the stage, you know, Keegan seemed to warm to him straight away, and they seem to have a really, you know, respect for each other.
Yeah, there was a mutual respect there, and you know, Eddie Howe actually said, "Oh, I want to say a few words about Kevin Keegan," which he didn't need to, and he said, "I understand how important it is to understand the club when I go to it," and he said Graham Jones, who was one of Eddie Howe's fellow coaches, is sort of his historian. He asks him about you know, former players and former managers, and he said he's got so much respect for Keegan, and he's explained to him all about Keegan, and it was just really, really lovely, wasn't it?
And they were also talking about the signings that both managers made. I thought that was quite nice as well, because, you know, they were talking about with Keegan how he sold Andy Cole to Manchester United, and then they were talking to Eddie Howe about some of the players he enjoys. They were talking about Trippier, and they also asked Eddie Howe about what is it like to have Dan Burn and Sean Langstaff in your squad, two Geordie lads. And Eddie Howe said, you know, it's great to have them there because they really make the other players appreciate how important it is for the club they're playing for. So that was really nice to see as well. But overall, it was a fantastic event. I mean, there was raffle, prizes.
Fundraising for leukemia charity, wasn't it, that they had, which was really good. But they were likening, Keegan was likening Dan Burn to Killer Kilkine, Brian Kilkine. If any of you people watching a bit older like me, they'll remember Brian Kilkine, who Newcastle signed. He sort of likened him to him, which was really interesting and funny, and they were having a laugh and joke on about that. But just such a cracking night, wasn't it, Charlie?
And it seemed like as well that sort of Kevin Keegan made a lot of comparisons to Eddie Howe's team now, like you were saying, and compared to his team back then. And I think there are stuff that's similar between the two managers, you know, to what's going on now with Newcastle, to what Kevin Keegan did. But I'd say probably one of the biggest compliments I can give about this event was that I never got bored through it. You know, it was quite a long event, lasted for 2 hours, I think it was, and they had a break and stuff, but it was a really enjoyable experience. And I think what was really good as well done to Pete Graves for doing this, but he was showing like clips of, you know, the players, and he was showing sort of, he had like this big screen and he was showing like clips of Newcastle, and he showed the clips of the PSG game when they were talking about that, because that helps, you know, it to be more interesting and more keeps you interested.
Yeah, it was just such a good night. But we've got a book to give away, haven't we, Charlie? Here, so this is what it was all about: the promotion for Pete Graves' book, Here to Compete, and it's a signed copy, and we've got one to give away to use. There it is, signed by Pete Graves. So you've got to subscribe, haven't you, to the channel?
Yeah,
is that right?
You've got to
like
make
the
sure
video.
to subscribe and like in order to get your comments down below as well.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I was asking a lot of people, and it seems like they didn't know that this event was actually going on.
Yeah, there was a few people didn't know it was going on, didn't they not? So maybe it could have been publicised a bit better, but it was more or less full. But if you want to win the book, you have to subscribe to the channel, or if you already subscribed, that's great. You also have to give this video a like and also comment in the comments box below, and that qualifies you, and then we'll draw it and see who can win this book. Looks a really exciting book, really nice to read.
But one of the things I do also want to mention as well is I've got to give credit to Pete Graves, because, I mean, he did so well to set up this event and get Eddie Howe and Keegan to do it. And, you know, I think he did a really good job in general, because, you know, when you're talking to so many people, and I think is his first time doing it, or has he done it before?
I think he's probably done stuff like this before, but it's the first time Keegan and Howe have actually met, as we've mentioned, because it was just, but the respect, and to do it at the Time Theatre like that was special, I thought, and the love from the fans, it was such a nice, it was a surreal and unique experience.
And as well, you know, you sort of learned stuff that you didn't really know before.
Yeah, we could tell you loads of stories about, you know, how why Keegan left, and you know, we could be here all night, you know. But if you want to hear some more stories, maybe comment down below and we'll put some stuff in the comments to let you know.
I mean, honestly, we could make a video, and 1 hour video going over everything that that went on in that event, but obviously you guys wouldn't be interested in that, so we thought we'd come on here today and do, you know, what our thoughts were on this event. But honestly, I think Pete Graves is doing another event coming up soon.
Yeah, I think that's on the 26th of November at the Hilton, and he's going to have, I think Lauren Robert's going, and Robert Lee, Beresford, Oliver Bernard, I think. So that should be a really good event, so keep an eye out for that one.
And like I said, there was a raffle. We didn't win anything, unfortunately.
Not.
There was like signed pictures of Bruno. There was like a signed Newcastle top from Eddie Howe and Kevin Keegan. So, you know, it was just everything about the event.
Yeah, the generosity of the Northeast public. Some of these tops and that were going for $2,000 and $3,000. I mean, it was like it was crazy. There was lots of money being raised for. It was I think it was Kale Leukemia, the charity. So that was fantastic that they've raised all that money. There must have been easily over $50,000, maybe I don't know how much, but it raised, which is great.
But honestly, I would really recommend you guys to sort of check out, you know, some of the clips from this, because, you know, it was a really, really good event in general, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Also, the book as well, I'll be looking forward to read that as well. Now, I do want to mention one thing about the book. He did actually say that he started writing it before the takeover,
4
which
years
I didn't
ago.
actually know. So he was saying, Pete Graves was saying that he actually wrote the book when Newcastle weren't really doing that well before the takeover, and he basically said, you know, he wanted Newcastle fans to look on his book with positivity because things, you know, weren't going well then. So originally, I think it was going to be written mainly about just Kevin Keegan
and Bobby Robson,
and what they did for the club. But then he said that once the takeover happened, you know, he felt like he didn't really need to write more of it. And it seems like he's waited now, and he's sort of, I think he's changed the title of his book to sort of comprehend on what's happening now with everything Newcastle United, because the club's in a much more sort of positive state compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, but just, well, we hope you've enjoyed this video.
I usually do that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We've got the Dortmund stuff coming tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. Can Newcastle top the Champions League group? And get your comments down below. Did you actually go to this event? Did you even know it was on? I'm really interested to know your thoughts. Again, if you want to win this book, Here to Compete by Pete Graves, fantastic book. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll draw a raffle, and we'll
so you've got to subscribe,
we'll let you know.
Like the video, and also comment. There's 3 things you have to do.
So anyway, guys, I just want to thank you again for all the support on the videos. It's been excellent as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.